this is Bonnie from Bonnie's Creative Place, and I am back with card number 2 from our June online class. I have chosen to use the Darlene Details as the class, so let's get started in today's card. The card is this one. It's my favorite flower pot card. You know I love it. I've made it in the past. I've made it several times. This is one that I kept because I usually give them away right away, and I've made several of these throughout the years. And I also have my template because whenever I make a card that has a lot of little details in it, I try to keep one like this that I can refer to, and then I have the template that I made also with all the details and directions on it. So yes, let's get started into how I made this fun flower pot card, and it fits right into a regular size envelope. So let's get started. In your card kit, you're going to get all the supplies you need. You're going to get a piece of DSP in Costa Cabana. The pattern may change, as I've told you in the past. You'll get something close, but it may change. As you see, I used one type of pattern here, and I have this one, or you could flip it over and use this one, whatever size you choose. Then you will have a piece for your stamping, and this is the piece for the stamping. This is the piece for the inside of the card that goes right here, right along with this piece of copper. Yeah, this is copper. Yeah, this is the copper clay. So these two pieces can go right together. So we must do that right now. And then we'll have that done. You can stamp on this if you want beforehand, or you can just write a cute little message inside it. I have another flower pot card coming soon, so keep a lookout for that one. So that's our inside piece, which we'll be working with in a little bit. And then you have your outside piece of the clay pot. So let's start putting this together. Let me get this piece out of the way. We got to bring in the trimmer first of all. Let me get some stuff here. Have room to get this down here. Okay, so if we look at my pattern, it says I have to score at 2.5 and at 5.5. So we're going to turn it. We're going to score at 2. And then we're going to scooch it down to the 5.5 inch mark. Okay. And then it says I have to make, I have to fold the card in half and then make little tick marks at 1/4 inch on each side. So what that means is I'm going to fold it in half here at the 5.5 inch mark. Then we're going to come in and we're going to get our ruler. I love this ruler. If you don't have this ruler, I have a link to it. I bought it on Amazon. I have a link to it down in the description box below. So here we are, and I'm going to take a pencil, and you're going to make, if I can get it, and I'm going to make a little tick mark here at 1/4 inch in, and then I'm going to bring it down to this side. I'm going to put the 1/4 inch in, and then I'm going to make a tick mark right there at the 1/4 inch mark. So now we have that, and then we're going to bring the trimmer back out, and all we're going to do is we're going to line the edge of this, the score mark at the 2 inch score mark. We're going to keep it folded. We're going to put our 1/4 inch mark there, and the edge of, just the edge of that score line. So it's right almost on the cut line, because you don't want to cut any of this. And you're just going from that mark up. And we're just cutting off. We're not cutting off very much. And then we're going to do the same thing. Put that on the cut line. Move this over. So it's just a hair on there. Make sure that is on the cut line. Okay. Just like that. And then we're cutting. And now we have formed our pot. Isn't that cool? So now we're going to bring this down. And these we don't need. We're going to take our score tool and we're going to score. Now if you have any, what do you want to call it? Pencil lines still on here. I have a tiny bit right there. You can erase them. Okay. So there we go. So I erased them. Now we're going to take this piece, which fits right across here perfectly, and we're going to attach it down on the paper. Okay. And then you can use any corner rounder you want. I have this 1/2 inch corner rounder, and just go in and punch out to make this rounded like a pot would be. And that one didn't quite get that little piece, so I'm going to trim it. There we go. So now we have this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get our ribbon, because I forgot my ribbon over here. Here we go. This is a lemon lolly. Yes, lemon lolly. I absolutely love this color. And we're going to get some scissors. You'll have one longer piece and then a little bit shorter piece. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to flip it over. And I like to use, you can use tape, you can use your adhesive, you can use whatever you want. And I'm going to use tape. And I'm going to tape it down, and then I'm going to look at it on the other side to make sure it's about where I want it. I don't want it too far to the top because some of our flowers are going to be there. So, and then I'm going to bring this over, make sure it's still in the center, grab myself some more tape, and just stick it down. Okay. So now that that part is done, now we can adhere these two pieces together. Whatever you want to use. I don't go right on the edge too much because it does hang off because if you're cutting. And then you could put that right down, just like so. And now we're going to put our adhesive to close up our pot. And I am just going to put a very thin bead, get it to get going here, of the liquid glue. And then I'm going to press it closed. Give it a little rub there. Check and see if anything has oozed out, but no, it's good. And now we're going to take our other little piece. We're going to go under like this and do a cheat knot is what I call it whenever I make these cute little bows and knots. And I try to keep my finger or something in there as far as I can so that that cute little knot comes right up on top. And you can slide this over. I feel like I gotta mooch it over a little bit. There we go. And then just trim your ribbon down. So that's all we're going to do to this one for now. We're going to set it aside. Now we're going to get into our stamping. So we're going to bring in our piece of stamping paper. And the colors that I chose for this were, let me double check to make sure. Get it over on card 2. All right. I chose Costa Cabana not Flirty Flamingo, Poppy Parade, and Granny Apple Green, and then black. So those are the colors that I chose to stamp my flowers. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in this big flower, and we're going to do some stamping here. All right. We got to have one big one and this one here. So we have one big one. And then we have to, we'll wash it off. And then we need one of the big ones in the Coastal Cabana. So we'll stamp that down. And we'll wash that off. Okay. Then we'll get the fillers. And we're going to do Coastal Cabana, and we're going to stamp off. And then we're going to come over and stamp on. Just like so. Give that a clean. And then we'll stamp it up in the Poppy Parade. We're going to stamp off. And then we'll stamp on. Just like so. We'll clean that off. Now I'm going to do the next biggest ones here. I am going to take the leaf, and I did two kinds because I wasn't sure which one I was going to like, and I liked the way it turned out, so we're going to do two kinds here, but you can choose. I am going to stamp it once, and then I'm going to stamp it, I don't remember how I did it, maybe this way, twice. So like that. And this is in the Granny Apple Green. Then I'm going to stamp this up. I'm going to stamp it off. And then I'm going to line it up and stamp it on. I'm going to do the same thing again. Stamp off. Line it up. Then I went ahead and I took the leaf one and I stamped this up, and then I didn't stamp it off, and I'm just going to pick one of them, or you could do both. You could change yours up, or you could do none, because my original plan wasn't to do it at all, but after it dried, because they look a little dark when you first stamp them, obviously it's wet and that, and then once it lightens up it gives it a whole different look. So I ended up liking it so much that I did end up using it in the card. So now we're going to go back to the Coastal Cabana and the Poppy Parade, and we're going to take this flower right here. I stamped two of these. So 1, 2, and then we'll clean it up, dry it off. And then I stamped it in the Coastal Cabana. 1 and 2, just like so. And then I needed 3 of the other one. So I still need another one of these. I'm going to put it right here. That looks like a good spot. Hopefully it's in there. I didn't put this one in the right spot, but it's okay. And then we are going to, oh, I should have moved it down, because I did have a piece here somewhere. I was going to stamp. I misplaced it. Oh, here it is. This is for your greeting, and it's happy birthday. I think I'm going to stamp another, see if I can fit one in there, because I worry that I got those two close together. Yeah, so I think I'm going to stamp another one of these ones here. Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to use the other side and we're going to do the stamping off with it. I'm going to go ahead and fill that one in that I kind of, if I can save it, I'll save it and put it in with my stuff for a future card. There, I cleaned that off, and now we're going to do the blue Costa Cabana here. Okay. Now, I'm going to pause the video at this point, and I'm going to die cut these all out, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I have all my pieces cut out, and we're going to start with decorating the top of the pot. I'm going to call it a flower pot now. And so I went ahead and I took one of the flowers, and I took some dimensionals. Let's see here. Yep, I have one on this one. And I just put a couple dimensionals on the back of this. And I put it right here. And then I went ahead and I took the happy birthday. I trimmed it down on the end. And then I'm going to trim off the top a little bit. I got a little bit much there. And then I just kind of eyeballed like to make it look like a tag. You could put the other piece up here, but I was kind of okay with it. Just like this. Then you could take a hole punch or whatever you would like, and if you want to put a little string in there, you can. But I'm going to keep it really simple, and I'm just going to put it here like that. And I'm just going to tuck it under there so it makes it look like it's, so you really just need one really good side if you cut it awkward. So like, so there you go. And then I went ahead and I took a black, you can either use a Sharpie, you can use anything that you have that is got a fine tip on it. And I kind of just did like this swirly action. One up here. And then I've got another one that I put over here like this. And I've got two butterflies. You could even put one on the flowers if you want. I did not do that, but that would be cute. My butterfly bag that these were in is really kind of falling apart, so I put them inside that Ziploc baggie so I wouldn't lose them. And I took one of the bigger ones and I put that one right there. And then I grabbed a smaller one. I ended up putting this one right here. So now we got our butterflies on. And the front of this card is done. Let me just put this away. And then we will go to the next part. So we'll set that aside. And now we're going to get this part. The only thing you have to remember is this card is 5 and well, let's do it this way because this goes up here. This card, nothing can go past 5.5 when you're putting it up, and nothing can go past 4.25 wide when you're putting it. Well, it can go a little wide, but you don't want to go past 4.25 because then it won't fit in your envelope. So, I mean, if you're hand delivering it, then the width and the height don't even matter. But if you're mailing it, then those are the measurements that you have to make sure of. So what I did was I take this and I try to start building. Now, you can look at it and see what I've done. You could put some behind. So I took this one and I kind of put it here. Now, I'm not putting anything together yet. I just like play around with the where things are going to go. I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut this right in half on both of these leaf things here. Cut this one right in half because I end up putting them at different places on the card. So here you could see I have one, you know, right back there. So I'm going to put this one back there, and then you could mark out, which this wouldn't be a bad idea. Let's do this so you guys can see what I'm doing. Let me get an old card here. Let me see. I just need a base of a card. Here we go. If you take a card like this, and this is probably, I just thought of this. So this is probably a great idea. Before you get started, go and measure out a base on a piece of scrap paper. Okay, you probably can't see it. I can see it, but I've got my little pencil line around there. You probably can't see it very well because I got all the other stuff on here. But now, if you set this in the middle down here of your 4 1/4, eyeball it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so right about 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 squares over and then down, and then you know you can't go above that and you can't go past the lines that you have, which that works out like tremendously. So here we go. So I put this one here. So I'm just going to use a little glue. I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner, but I guess we're always thinking and teaching ourselves as we go. And I'm just adding a little bit of glue to that. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to take the next one, which is going to be over here, but it's up more. So I can't really attach it yet. Well, it's up like this. So I can only attach this tiny little bit right now because I have to wait until I add my other flowers. So I'm going to add that little bit right there. We can take and add this one and the other blue one over here. As long as I'm not past that side, and I'm not. So I'm going to attach that on. So I'm just going to, I'm kind of turned it more sideways like that. I'm going to add a little glue. Bring this over and attach it on like that. Still within my thing. I'm going to add a little glue to the front of this one. And I'm going to tuck it right up and underneath. And let's see, there we go. We're still good. See, we're still within our card base. So now we've got that going on. Now we're going to add this peach one over here, and I have that kind of sticking out, and I can attach it to the base right here. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue and right to this leaf or flower. I think I can do a little bit more there, like 2 spots. So there we go. And I'm still within my perimeter here, just making sure. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to add some glue on it. And this one has to get tucked in here. Now see, it's hanging out, so I've got to finagle it. It might not be exactly like the original one, but just long as it's on there. There we go. Because I do have a little wiggle room on this side. So there we go. Now let's see. And this one I popped up. So we're going to pop this one up. I popped this up. Yep. So I'm going to put a couple dimensionals on this one. And I also popped this one up. And for that one, I just put a dimensional right here on this card for there. And let's see. This I put right here, kind of like that. And then I might add another dimensional. I just want to see. Okay, I didn't remove it. Where I could put one. I could put one over here so it's not so wonky. And then one on this side. I just kind of want to even it out a little bit. But I didn't want to show through that little hole. I can put one on this little guy. Okay. I'm going to double check the back of this and see. Oh, you can see it a little bit. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab my little powder thing. You know me and this little, I call it powder thing, and it's called Embossing Buddy. And I'm just going to dab it up to get rid of all that stickiness. There we go. It's gone. All right. And now I got these two little things that are kind of under here, like so. Okay. And then making sure this is all still within our lines, and it is. And then I got one more flower here, and this one goes right here somehow, like this. And I just used some liquid glue, and I attached it like this. And I think, did I put a dimensional on that one? Oh, I did put a dimensional on it, but I put it, I didn't think I did. All right, we're going to peel this up. I put a dimensional right here in between these two flowers. And I moved that, and that'll just be extra glue on there. It won't hurt anything. And I popped it up. And so there, it's in within everything. And so now you can take this, and you can take your card base, whoops, this is the one, and you can slide this right in the middle. And I just kind of tip it back a little bit so that you can get your flowers. I like them when they hang over a little bit on the pot. I like that, so I kind of tipped it. Maybe you would want to put that butterfly on after that flower. I covered up that flower a little bit. Not too bad. Looks like it's getting ready to land on it. So yeah, so that is our card number 2. I'll be back in a little bit with card number 3.